Imagine this. It's 3 in the morning, London, 1888. The streets are pitch black. No street lights, no cell phones, no security cameras. And somewhere in the fog, a killer is hunting. He killed 5 women. He mocked the police. He sent letters with actual pieces of his victims. And then, he just disappeared. No arrest, no confession, no identity, ever. 137 years later, we still don't know who he was. This is the story of Jack the Ripper. To understand why this case is so terrifying, you need to picture what London looked like back then. The year is 1888. The East End of London, specifically a neighborhood called Whitechapel, is one of the most dangerous. Overcrowded slums in the entire world, thousands of people crammed into tiny rooms, no running water, disease everywhere, and the police, they were completely overwhelmed. This was the perfect hunting ground for a monster. It started on August 31st, 1888. A police officer, walking his beat, noticed something on the ground in a dark alley called Buck's Row. It was a woman. Her name was Mary Ann Nichols, and she had been brutally murdered. Her throat had been cut, twice. The officer thought it might be a robbery gone wrong, but the doctor who arrived on the scene said something that sent chills through the entire city. Whoever did this had knowledge of human anatomy.
This wasn't random. This was calculated. 9 days later, it happened again. Annie Chapman, found in a backyard. Same brutal method. But this time, the killer had taken his time. The details were so horrifying, newspapers refused to print them. Then came the night that changed everything. September 30th, 1888. In one single night, 2 women were murdered. Elizabeth Stride, then Catherine Eddowes, just 45 minutes apart in different locations. The city exploded in panic. Women were afraid to go outside. Men formed neighborhood watch groups. Scotland Yard was completely lost. And the killer? He was just getting started. Here's where it gets even darker. During the murders, someone began sending letters to the police and newspapers. Most were dismissed as pranks, but 2 letters stood out. They were written by the same person, and they contained details about the murders that only the killer could have known. The letters were signed with a name that would haunt history forever: Jack the Ripper. In one letter, he literally bragged about what he did. He called it a little game. He mocked the police for not catching him. One letter even included part of a victim's kidney, preserved, sent in a small box. The forensic examiner confirmed it was human. It had belonged to Catherine Eddowes. This wasn't just a killer. This was someone who wanted the world to watch. On November 9th, 1888, Jack the Ripper committed his most horrific crime. Mary Jane Kelly, just 25 years old. Unlike the other victims who were killed outdoors, Mary Jane was murdered inside her own room, which meant the killer had time. The scene police discovered that morning was so disturbing that even the most experienced officers had to step outside. Scotland Yard brought in a photographer, one of the first times crime scene photography was ever used in history. And then, Jack the Ripper was never heard from again. No more murders, no more letters, no arrest, nothing. He walked back into the fog and vanished forever. Over the past 137 years, investigators, historians, and amateur detectives have pointed fingers at over 500 different suspects. Let me give you the most famous ones.
Suspect number 1, Montague Druitt, a lawyer and teacher who disappeared right after the murders stopped. His own family believed he was the killer. His body was found in the Thames River in December 1888, just weeks after the last murder. Suspect number 2, Aaron Kosminski, a Polish barber living in Whitechapel. He was actually placed near the crime scenes by witnesses, but the main witness refused to testify in court and the case collapsed. Suspect number 3, a royal conspiracy. Some researchers believe the killer had connections to the British royal family, that the murders were a cover-up for a secret scandal involving Prince Albert Victor. No hard evidence, but the theory refuses to die. Here's the brutal truth. We will probably never know who Jack the Ripper was. The evidence is 137 years old. The witnesses are long dead, and the police investigation back then was honestly a disaster. Jack the Ripper got away with it, completely. What makes Jack the Ripper so terrifying isn't just what he did. It's the fact that he could be anyone. A doctor, a lawyer, a neighbor, a royal. He walked among thousands of people, was never caught, and disappeared without a trace. And somewhere out there, his true identity is still buried in history, waiting to be found. If you made it this far, you're officially a CrimeCrypt member. Drop a comment below. Who do you think Jack the Ripper really was? Hit that subscribe button, because next week, we're going somewhere even darker. I'll see you then.